Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatyate Satarine. Umajnanattimirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namo Sutem Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatarvyascha kripa sindhubhyaye vachapatitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Isvaraga Paramaka Krishna Satchidananda Vigraga Anadiradir Govindaga Sarvakarana Karanam. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge by which we can directly see ourselves, that we are not the body, we are the souls. So, in our body, we have working senses, which we studied yesterday also in the sloka. And to operate those working senses, that operation, that control should be with us. That means under the control of mind. Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya arabate Arjuna. And just two slokas before that, Krishna said that Nahi kaschiti kshanam api jatu tistati akarmakrit Karyatehi avasaha karma sarvaha prakriti jair gunai. Not even a single moment one can refrain from doing something, because everyone is forced to act helplessly by the three modes of material nature. So, one way Krishna is saying that we are not free, we are forced to act. But in another sloka, Krishna is saying that we should control our working senses. That means mind should control our working senses. When it is forced to act, then how can we control our senses? So here the question comes to understand about our mind is in our control or not. If our mind is not in our control, it's forced to act by whatever controls our mind. So in one sloka, in the third chapter, Krishna teaches us towards the end, Indriyani parani ahur Indriyebhyaha param manaha Manasastu para buddhi. Yo buddhi paratastu sah. So senses are superior to the dull matter. Mind is above the senses, intelligence is above the mind, and soul is above the intelligence. So mind is between senses and intelligence. So if we are able to control the mind, the soul is able to control the mind, the soul should have intelligence. We should have intelligence. With intelligence, we can control the mind. Because that's what senses are above matter, mind is above senses, intelligence is above mind, like that. If you don't have intelligence, then we can't control our mind. So that means our mind will be controlled by the senses. Indriyani pramatini haranti prashabam managa. Senses are very strong that they forcibly carry away the mind. So now when Krishna said that everyone is forced to act helplessly by the three modes of material nature, karyatege avasaga karma sarvaga prakriti jair gunai. When we are under the control of the modes of nature, so that means our mind is not in our control. Then we won't be able to regulate our senses. We won't be able to control our senses. Now, how can we bring our mind under our control? That is a different subject. Different subject means it's very much related only. All together, that's another chapter, another topic we need to understand. How can we bring the mind under our control? So we just studied that in order to control the mind, we need to have intelligence. With intelligence only, we can control the mind. And Krishna is very clearly teaching us that when our mind is focused on the sense objects, we lose intelligence. Buddhi naso. And how exactly we are going to lose intelligence, that also Krishna is explained very clearly in the second chapter. Sloka number 22, 62 and 63. When our mind is thinking about the sense objects, then we develop attachment for them. Then from such attachment, lust develops. From lust, anger arises. From anger, delusion arises. From delusion, memory is bewildered. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. So intelligence is lost when memory is bewildered. That's what we need to understand. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसक संगस्ते सुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो अभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो. So smriti vibhramaha means when our memory is bewildered. So scientifically speaking, in medical terms, memory is stored in our brain. We have short-term memory and long-term memory. And memory is bewildered means we are not able to access that stored memory. That's what is memory is bewildered. So these days we depend so much on AI, artificial intelligence. So that uses all the data stored in it. It's artificial intelligence is not something just intelligent means here. It is able to access the data That's why we are building huge data centers everywhere, right? Huge data centers. They require so much of energy, so much of money. All big businesses, the top businesses in the world, they are investing on data centers everywhere. We already know about it. Because that's where all the data will be stored. So effectively, essentially, our brain is a data center. And we need so much of oxygen for our brain. So like even these data centers, they need so much of energy to operate. The energy demands have increased exponentially because of these data centers. So it's exactly the same. So our brain to operate, to go and access all the data and everything, we need so much of 80% of the oxygen goes into our body. It has to go to the brain. If oxygen supply is disrupted, we lose our memory. That's why people, when they get stroke, so sometimes they will lose the complete memory. Afterwards, they can't even recognize their own parents, siblings, children. It is not possible. We have seen people like that. And there are different types of such memory loss is there. Some will lose completely the past memory and they can only make new memories. And some will have the past memory and they won't create any more new memories. So basically, effectively, when that access to memory is blocked or bewildered, then we can't make right decisions. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. That's what intelligence is bewildered. Intelligence is lost. When you can't make right decisions, this I'm going too much scientifically into what's happening in our brain. But that is the reality. That's what Krishna is teaching us also. So that means if we are attached to material sense objects, when our attachment becomes very strong and then we are controlled by kama and krodha and then we are bewildered. Our memory is bewildered. We are not able to access the memory, then we are not able to have the intelligence. We won't have intelligence. So that means our mind will not be under our control. That's what we need to understand. We think that in general people, what they are all doing in this world, they are all good, great, and as per laws and all those things. When they are attached to sense objects, they think that I want this much, I want that much, and I'm becoming a rich man, and I'm doing this, and I'm so great. All those things are nonsense. Everything is owned only by Krishna. He is the owner of everything. When we claim that I own that, that is, we are thieves. That knowledge we need to get it from Bhagavad Gita. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we understand very clearly that everything belongs to Krishna, then we need to submit ourselves to Krishna, including ourselves. We also belong to Krishna. That's what we need to understand. Everything belongs to Krishna and we also belong to Krishna. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we develop this understanding that we belong to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. So now our goal is only to do everything for Krishna. Please Krishna. So that way we are going to develop attachment to Krishna. When we have this knowledge, with the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Jnana yajnena tene aham ishtagashyam iti me mati. So with this jnana yajna, that's what we are doing right now. This knowledge, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, they will develop a desire to me. They will develop a love on me. That's what. Teneham ishtagashyamiti me mati. When that happens, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Sarvasya chaham kriti sannivishte mattaha smritirnyanam apohanam cha. So I am seated in everyone's heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So when we are attached to Krishna, when we are connected with Krishna, when we are Krishna conscious, when we dedicate our life unto Krishna, our memory will never be bewildered. Because Mattaga Smritir, from me memory comes, remembrance comes. That's what Krishna said. Then it is very easy for us to access what is stored in our brain because Krishna gives us the memory. Then there is no confusion, no more anger, no more lust, anger. Those things will go away. Because here prema and bhakti comes. Love, pure love on Krishna, unconditional and unalloyed love. Because we know Krishna who he is with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, with the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we understand very well Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With that love and devotion, everything will work very great. And we will be able to do things in the right direction. So at that point of time, we will not be forced to act. So then we will be able to regulate our senses. So regulating our senses means, regulating our working senses means engaging our working senses in Krishna's service. That's what is regulating our working senses. So now it is proved that we cannot sit idle for a single moment. If we sit idle mind is the devil's workshop. So mind cannot sit idle. Mind has to be focused on something. But in this material world, having born in this material world, still and everyone is under the control of the modes of nature until one gets elevated to the Brahmabhuta platform. Until then, we are controlled by the modes of nature. When we are in the Jiva Bhuta platform, when we are studying, even though we are studying Bhagavad Gita, even though we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but we have to give up all connections, all attachments. We should be able to cut everything with the weapon of detachment. Until then, everyone is forced to act helplessly by the three modes of material nature. That's why Krishna said that Nahi kaschiti kshanamapi jatu tistati akarma krit karyatega avasaka karma sarvaga prakriti jairguna. But with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we dedicate our life unto Krishna, we do everything only for Krishna. We depend on Krishna for all the time. Then we won't be forced to act. That's why in another sloka, Krishna says in the same third chapter that Yasvatmaratirev syat atmatriptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santustaga tasya karyam na vidyate. So when we are able to find happiness within ourselves, so how that is going to be possible? So that means we are not thinking about material sense at all. We are not focusing. We are not thinking about anything which is made up of matter. Not only for us, and also for anyone else also we are not thinking. We are not responsible for anyone's desires. And we should not be answerable also to anyone. Naivattasya kritena arto na kriteneha kaschana nachasya sarvabhutesu kaschitattavyapash. It's only between us and Krishna. That's it. So that means all the time is ours, Krishna's. Because we are not answerable to anyone. We don't have to satisfy or please anyone else in this world. As long as we are able to please Krishna, then That is enough for us. That's it. That's how our life should be. Because even one gets old, not able to do much, the society is going to neglect that person. That person may be a president or prime minister or powerful person, very rich person, all such things. Nothing is going to come and help when we get old. Power will be gone. Even if we have billions or trillions in our account, we won't be able to access. Because we will, when we get old, we can't even think. We can't even act. So everything will be managed by others. And slowly everything will be taken by others. That's it. But who is going to be with us all the time? Krishna. So our mind should be always connected with Krishna only. Before we die, before the time comes, we should voluntarily disconnect from everything in this material world and fully focus on Krishna. And that can happen with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's what we are gaining. So by Krishna's mercy, we are successfully studying in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So what we are studying in the 3rd chapter, in the sloka number 8. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajayo hya karmanaga sarira yatra pichatena prasiddhayeda karmanaga. So that's why Krishna is teaching us to perform the prescribed duties. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karma jayohi akarma. So that is better than instead of not doing anything. Because after getting this body, one has to work, at least to maintain this body, physical body. If you don't work, you have to walk every day. And walk at least 1 hour or 2 hours, that is good. Body will work very nice, function very nicely. Or do exercise, or doing all kinds of physical work has to be, it's needed for the body. Otherwise, if you just sit all the time, work and sleep and eat, body functions, the organs, they are not going to work very well. So that's why Krishna is saying that even to maintain our physical body, one has to work, one has to act, use the working senses. Because the brain, like every part of our body is connected to the brain. Every part, every cell is connected to our brain, basically. If you are not working, then that portion of the brain itself will stop working actually. So then we won't be even able to do any work. Perform your prescribed duty. For doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So there is a scientific knowledge Krishna is giving. But when we are working, what kind of work we need to do? Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangaha samachara. Yajnartat karmano. So any work we do, it should be yajna. Yajna means for Krishna, because Krishna is the enjoyer of all yajnas. Bhoktaram yajna tapas. Ahamgi sarva yajnanam bhoktacha prabhurevacha. So that's what we need to understand. So every activity what we do, we have to do is only as an offering unto Krishna. Yat karosi tat kurusva madarpanam. Anything you do, do that as an offering unto me. So that's what yajna tat. Any action which is not done as an offering unto Krishna, it will bind onto this world, material world. Lokoyam karma bandhana. That's why you perform activity which will release you from this world. Tadattam karma kaunteya mukta sangaga samachara. It releases you from this world. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Then in the next sloka, what we are saying, Saha yajnaha prajaha srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yesha mo ashtu ishtakamaduk. So when at the time of creation, Prajapati created along with us Yajna also. Saha Yajnaga. Saha means along with. Both Yajna and Praja. Yajnaga, Prajaga, Srishtva. So he created Yajnas also and Prajas also. So that means there are well-defined Yajnas are there. There are well-defined way of performing our work procedures are there. We don't have to invent something new how to perform any yajna. All the yajnas procedures are given very, very clearly. Because that manual also has been given to us. How to do. If you buy a product, they will give how to assemble, how to operate, all those things will be given. So something like that, here, this body is produced and Praja Srisva. So we are created. At that time, the manual of Yajna also is given to us. That also has been created. And then Purovacha, at that time Prajapati is told that Anena prasavisyadvam yesavoshtistakam. So you get what all you need and enjoy with this yajna. So that way real enjoyment comes only when we perform everything for Krishna. So that is what is called yajna. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them, saying, Be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Yesavo ishtu ishtakama duk. So it will give you what all you want. So that's what. Really, if you perform everything as an yajna, so everything for Krishna, whatever we need, we are going to get it. We are not going to lose anything. We are going to get it. But if you forget and if you think that everything is ours, then we are committing great sins. That we'll study in the next slokas what Krishna is going to teach us. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we successfully finished sloka number 10 in the third chapter until 10th sloka in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll continue tomorrow. And as I mentioned, at least once a week, we will study, talk with the devotees also after the class, because immediately after this, I have another Bhagavad Gita class coming up. So that's why I'm not able to talk with the devotees or chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But at least once a week, we will plan on that. Hopefully, Friday or someday, I will figure it out. Hare Krishna.